Let me tell you something most people never want to hear. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. It's soft, it's familiar, it feels safe. But the truth? It's a trap. It's the silent killer of dreams. Because while you're wrapped in comfort, time is passing, potential is wasting, and your calling, your real calling, is standing outside that zone, waiting for you to come and meet it. Discomfort is the gateway to growth. It's life's way of signaling that you're on the edge of transformation. You don't become stronger by staying warm and cozy. You become stronger by walking into the fire and learning how to stand. That fire, it's called challenge. It's called rejection, failure, early mornings, late nights, pressure, silence, loneliness. It's uncomfortable, but it's where your character is built. It's where your spirit is tested. And if you can stay there long enough, you'll come out different, not just tougher, but wiser, not just more successful, but unshakable. Every single person you admired, every one of them had a moment where they had to choose comfort or calling. They had to force themselves to level up by saying yes to the pain of growth and no to the illusion of ease. See, comfort whispers to you, tells you you're fine just the way you are. It tells you that tomorrow will be a better day to start. But discomfort? Discomfort demands something from you. It doesn't negotiate. It dares you to rise. It stretches you, breaks you, humbles you, and then it builds you back up into something more. But you've got to understand, growth never feels good in the moment. That's the paradox. It feels like you're getting worse, like you're failing, like you're not made for it. But that's the process. It's the shedding of who you were so you can make room for who you're becoming. Caterpillars don't grow wings without first dissolving completely. You want to level up? Then prepare to feel like you're falling apart, because only by going through it can you rise through it. When you wake up tomorrow and that bed feels just a little too warm, and that dream a little too far away, I want you to remember this. The version of you that has what you want, your future self, they're already living in discomfort. They're already making hard choices, already pushing limits, already sweating, sacrificing, believing. They're not waiting, they're doing. And if you want to meet them, you've got to catch up. The world won't wait for you to feel ready. Greatness doesn't knock politely. It doesn't ask if you're comfortable. It shows up in the form of a challenge. And it asks you, are you willing to be uncomfortable enough to rise? So stop running from the hard things. Lean into them. Let the pain shape you. Let the discomfort stretch you. Because every moment you spend avoiding what's hard is a moment you're choosing to stay small. But every step you take into discomfort is a step toward power, a step toward truth, a step toward the life you were meant to live. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles and the crowd is gone, you'll know you didn't just survive the discomfort. You became someone through it. You see, everyone starts with fire in their eyes. At the beginning of the journey, motivation flows like a river after the rain, fast, loud, and unstoppable. You feel invincible. The dream is fresh, the vision is clear, and you swear nothing can stand in your way. But life has a way of testing that spark, because motivation, as powerful as it feels in the beginning, is fragile. It fades when you're tired. It disappears when the results take too long. It crumbles when you're alone, in the silence, with no one clapping for you. And that's where most people fall. But not you. Because what separates those who start from those who finish, what separates the dreamers from the doers, is discipline. Motivation might get you moving, but discipline keeps you going. It's the quiet voice that says, get up, even when the bed feels like the safest place in the world. It's the invisible force that shows up long after the excitement is gone. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for the stars to align. It just does the work. When motivation fades, and it will fade, your habits must carry you. And habits are not built on good moods or perfect circumstances. They're built brick by brick in the cold mornings, in the long nights, in the days when nobody sees you but you keep pushing anyway. That's where winners are made, not in the spotlight but in the shadows, where no one is watching. Ask yourself, what do you do when no one is looking? Do you still train? Do you still write? Do you still build, study, stretch, grow? Or do you wait for a wave of inspiration to carry you again? Because the truth is, that wave might never come back. And even if it does, it won't be strong enough to carry you through the storm. That's where discipline comes in. It's your anchor. Discipline is showing up for yourself even when the world has stopped showing up for you. It's choosing progress over pleasure, structure over chaos, long-term victory over short-term comfort. It's brushing off the excuses, shutting down the doubts, and saying, this is who I am now. You don't wait for the feeling. You become the feeling. You embody the mission. You don't chase motivation. You become relentless. This journey to level up, it isn't just about doing hard things. It's about becoming the kind of person who does hard things without needing a reward every time. You don't train for applause. You train because you said you would. You don't study for validation. You study because you made a promise to your future self. The version of you that is built to endure, to dominate, to lead, that version isn't fueled by emotion. They're powered by decisions made in the dark, upheld by discipline when no one is cheering. And that's what you must become. Because the real difference between average and extraordinary is never found in talent alone. It's not even found in dreams. It's found in the willingness to do what others won't. It's in the quiet commitment to show up every single day, not because you feel like it, but because you promised yourself you would. So when the fire dies down and the crowd stops watching, and you're left alone with the voice in your head, let that voice remind you, it was never motivation that was going to carry you to the top. It was always going to be discipline. The future isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's already moving, already unfolding. And the truth is, the version of you that reaches that future, the one living in that dream, holding that success, walking in that calling, they are not the same person you are today. That version is stronger. That version had to be forged, not found. And if you want to meet them, if you want to become them, then you've got to understand something deep. Your future demands a stronger you today. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when you feel motivated. Today. See, the life you're dreaming about, it's not built by luck. It's not waiting for you to stumble into it. It's waiting for you to grow into it. It has requirements. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And the longer you put off that transformation, the longer that future remains out of reach. The doors you want to walk through, the rooms you want to sit in, the impact you want to make, those are reserved for the version of you who's willing to stretch beyond what's easy and step into what's necessary. It's not about perfection, it's about preparation. You've got to become the kind of person who can carry the weight of what you're asking for. Success without strength collapses. Fame without foundation crumbles. Blessings without character become burdens. That's why the pain you feel right now, the pressure, the silence, the rejection, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You're being shaped for something bigger than you can even imagine right now. But growth is not glamorous. It's gritty. It's uncomfortable. It feels like everything is falling apart when really everything is falling into place. And the reason it feels heavy is because you're being stretched to carry more than you ever have before. That's what growth feels like. That's what becoming stronger looks like. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you grow. Every time you get up when it would be easier to stay down, you grow. Every time you say no to distractions and yes to purpose, you grow. You're not just building habits, you're building resilience. You're not just gaining skills, you're becoming someone who doesn't fold under pressure. That's the strength your future requires. And don't be fooled. Your future doesn't need someone who wants it. It needs someone who's ready for it. And readiness is not a feeling. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and doing the work, even when no one sees you, especially when no one sees you. Because that's where the real transformation happens. In the quiet, in the unseen, in the grind that nobody applauds. So take a good look at your habits, your mindset, your choices. Are they preparing you for your future or protecting you from your growth? Are you getting stronger or just getting more comfortable? Because make no mistake, the future you desire is waiting, but it will only make room for the version of you who's strong enough to handle it. So don't just hope for a better tomorrow, build one, right here, right now. Let your actions today be a declaration of who you're becoming. Not someday, not eventually, but today. Because everything you want is already on the other side of the strength you're willing to build. Comfort, now that's a dangerous thing. It doesn't come in like a storm, it comes in quiet. It wraps around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. It whispers sweet lies that tell you, you've done enough, you've come far enough. You don't need to push any further, and if you're not careful, if you don't stay sharp, that whisper becomes your truth. You stop climbing, you stop striving, you settle. And that's how dreams die, not with failure, but with comfort. Comfort will seduce you into believing that staying still is the same as standing strong, but it's not. Staying still is slow death when you were born to grow. You weren't created to plateau. You weren't called to live a life of safe decisions and easy wins. That greatness you feel in your bones, it doesn't come from staying where it's cozy. It comes from choosing discomfort over and over again until the fire in you is stronger than the fear around you. But it's not easy. Comfort feels good. It's natural to want to rest, to enjoy what you've built. And yes, there are seasons where rest is necessary. But comfort becomes dangerous when you start calling it progress, when you start convincing yourself that good enough is good enough forever. That's not growth. That's stagnation dressed up as success. The truth is, comfort will give you reasons to stop long before you reach your potential. It'll tell you that you're already doing better than most, that you've earned the right to slow down. But better than most is not the standard for a life of purpose. You weren't called to be average. You were called to be aligned with your mission, your values, your highest self. And that version of you doesn't settle. They rise. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because the real enemy of your next level is not failure, it's comfort. Failure teaches, comfort numbs. Failure stings, but it sharpens you. Comfort dulls your senses, it robs you of urgency, it makes you forget what you're fighting for, and before you know it, you start shrinking your dreams to fit your current situation instead of expanding yourself to fit the size of your destiny. A big great leap requires you to let go of the ledge. You've got to trade safety for strength. That means doing things that scare you. Saying yes when you're unsure. Showing up when it's easier to stay home. Speaking up when your voice shakes. That's where life happens, in the discomfort, in the stretch, in the decision to not settle. The world is full of people who had potential, but comfort kept them average. Don't be one of them. Don't let comfort convince you that your current chapter is the final one. You've got more pages to write, more ground to cover, more battles to win. So shake the dust off, interrupt the ease, Step back into the fire, not because you have to, but because you refuse to let comfort be the end of your story. Your destiny doesn't live in what's familiar. It lives in the unknown. And you'll only reach it when you stop settling and start chasing the version of you that's still waiting to be born. Pain. It has a way of making you stop and question everything. It shows up uninvited in your heart, your mind, your body, and suddenly, the path you were walking with confidence starts to feel like a battlefield. Most people take that pain as a sign to turn around, to retreat, to protect themselves. But what if I told you pain isn't the enemy? What if pain wasn't a wall, but a window? Pain is a signal, not a stop sign. It doesn't always mean something's wrong. Sometimes it just means something real is happening. Growth is happening. Transformation is underway. And when you're walking towards something greater, pain is part of the process. It's not the end of the road. It's a sign you're on the right one. Think about it. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Steel isn't forged without fire. Diamonds aren't created without pressure. So why do we expect our minds and our lives to be any different? We say we want strength, but shy away from the very thing that builds it. We say we want to level up, but when the pain shows up, we hit pause. But the truth is, pain is a teacher, a revealer. It exposes your limits so you can push past them. It shows you where you still need to grow, and it strips away the illusions, because when you're hurting, you can't fake who you are. That's when you find out what you're really made of. Not when everything's going your way, but when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you choose to keep going anyway. You see, pain has a purpose. It humbles you, refines you, brings you face to face with your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to shape you. Every tear, every ache, every sleepless night, it's doing something inside you that comfort never could. It's carving out depth. It's building compassion. It's strengthening your soul. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should love the pain. No one does. But you can learn to respect it. You can learn to sit with it, to breathe through it, to listen to what it's trying to tell you. Because pain always speaks. The question is, are you listening or are you running? Too many people quit when it hurts. They take that discomfort as a verdict. This isn't for me. I'm not strong enough. I guess I failed. But pain doesn't mean you failed. It means you're fighting. And every step you take while in pain, that's a step earned. That's a step that builds something deep inside you. That's where your real strength is formed. So when pain knocks at your door, don't just slam it shut. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're stepping into something bigger than where you came from. And instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain never comes without a message. And if you have the courage to endure it, it just might deliver you to your purpose. Don't let pain paralyze you. Let it move you. Let it shape you. Let it ignite something in you that comfort never could. Because when the storm clears and the bruises fade, you'll realize something powerful. That pain wasn't your enemy. It was your path. All your life, you've been waiting for the right time, waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for a sign, some flash of light, some voice from above, something undeniable that tells you, now is your moment. But here's the truth most people never tell you. You are not waiting on a sign. Everything you need to begin, every answer you've been searching for, every ounce of strength, courage, and fire, it's already in you. That restlessness you feel, that quiet ache inside that says, there's more to me than this, that's not something to ignore. That's your soul speaking. That's your potential trying to get your attention. But see, we've been taught to wait, to seek validation, to look for approval, as if the permission to live a full life belongs to someone else. We tell ourselves, when I feel more ready, when I have more money, when the timing is better, then I'll start. But deep down, we know that then never really comes. Because if you keep waiting for perfect, you'll never begin. Life doesn't pause for your comfort. Destiny doesn't schedule appointments. It calls, whether you're ready or not. The question is, are you bold enough to answer? You weren't put on this earth just to exist. You were made to impact, to create, to lead, to rise. But none of that happens until you make a decision to stop looking outside yourself for answers and start listening to the fire within. That fire is your sign. That dream you can't shake, that's your sign. And no, it won't be easy. There will be doubt. There will be fear. You'll have moments where you wonder if you're crazy for trying. But I'll tell you this, far more people regret the chances they didn't take than the ones they did. Playing small won't protect you. Staying hidden won't spare you from pain. All it does is rob the world of the gift that only you can give. There's someone out there who needs your voice, your strength, your story. But they'll never receive it if you stay silent, if you stay waiting, if you stay small. You weren't created to wait for a signal. You were created to be the signal, to light the path for others, to rise so others could rise too. So don't ask the world to show you a sign. Instead, look in the mirror. Look at the battles you've already survived, the storms you've walked through, the times you thought it was over, but you're still here. You're breathing, you're standing, you still have time. That is the sign. The moment you stop waiting and start moving, the world begins to shift. Doors start to open. Strength you didn't know you had begins to rise, because it was never about what you lacked. It was about what you believed. So rise, speak, begin. Move like your time is now, because it is. You don't need a sign from the sky. You need to believe that the breath in your lungs, the fire in your belly, the dream in your heart, that's more than enough. The moment you decide to stop waiting and start becoming, that's when everything begins to change. So now you know. It was never about waiting for the right moment, the perfect mood, or someone else to give you permission. It was always about you choosing to rise